Okay, here we go. I'm going to try running all the way through this time. We'll see how it goes. Hoping it goes good. Okay. Hi, my name is Josh. I'm 23 years old. I'm a performing musician and songwriter. I wanted to start this show to tell my story, really to anybody who's interested. It's a story of an idealistic young musician, a romantic, and a writer who's faced with the idea of dying young from cancer. I laugh, I cry, I play guitar, I write, I read, I get hurt emotionally, and I fall in love. Like most of us, I think. My preferred musical poison is guitar. I actually began, though, by noodling on the piano, thanks to my dad. And lately I also enjoy singing quite a lot, for the last few years. I'm very, very passionate about music, probably more than anything else. Songwriting, performing, but also theory and interpretation of music. I really love women, dating, sex, the concepts of love and being in love, and attraction, as well as just the platonic relationship between men and women. I'm an atheist, secular humanist, and an amateur scientist with a particular interest in physics, astronomy, and cosmology, and also pharmacology and psychology, as well as sociology as well. I have had cancer twice in the past 2.5 years, with different sort of circumstances and projected outcomes and things like that. I'm a pragmatist, a realist, and above all else an existentialist. That should be said. But I'm also very emotional, intuitive, and I'm a feeling-centered, human being. These two sets of tendencies are typically thought of as contradictory, I think, and therefore incompatible. But as I have found, contradictory things can sometimes mesh really, really well if they're monitored and balanced correctly. I truly believe the greatest skill human beings have is our ability to reflect and analyze ourselves. We have an amazing ability to review something from several angles if we choose. I'm also an optimist, which a lot of people may not agree with, because I'm also very realistic, and I attempt every day to reconcile what some people would say is a terrifying situation for me with cancer. I try to reconcile that with my beliefs that life is wonderful and beautiful, because it is. I am admittedly pretty naive about the beauty of life. And what I mean by that is that I just think that you can find beauty and wonder in anything if you want to. And that can be a blessing and a curse for reasons we might get into later. I did come into music because of my dad. He used to play piano for my mom while I was still in the womb and when I was very, very young. And as a toddler, I used to watch him play piano in between web pages loading back in the dial-up days of the early 90s. Watch him play piano all the time. He actually wrote a lullaby specifically for me, which I think is one of the most beautiful piano pieces I've ever heard. And I love it, and I love to play it too. And I came to guitar a little bit later, closer to like 9 or 10. Started becoming a little more serious around that time, especially when I met a guy called Scott Hunt, who sort of mentored me and taught me the ins and outs of improvising and having fun being a rock musician. He was definitely all about having fun as a musician and making it an enjoyable experience. And there were a lot of people that had a big influence on me with music. There's my dad, one of my best friends when I was really young, Jordan, Bobby Marie, who helped me get into singing through karaoke shows that her and her dad used to run. My friend AJ, who really got me into metal. Again, Scott Hunt with the rock. A girl that I really, really, really love that I met just in the last year, Jordan, has shown me a lot of music that I really, really, really love. I also, people, as far as electronic music, people like I Am Orange, used to be called Oranges with a 4 instead of an A. X-Core, which would be Matt Cavender, and F777, which is Jesse Valentine. all independent artists that definitely reachable from fan perspective. And I really love their electronic music. What they're doing is just so amazing. Also, as far as electronic music, Kim Runnels and April Lee really helped me develop my electronic sort of ear in that style of music, which I don't usually create that kind of music, but I do enjoy listening to a lot. If you can hear right now in the background, I'm actually listening to some independent electronic artists. And I want to talk for a second a little bit how I view music in general. I think music is a form of communication that can incorporate words, doesn't necessarily have to, but it can incorporate rhythms or vocals, melodies, harmonies, and as well as other sound sculptures or sound effects to try to capture the artist's feelings and their surroundings and transport to somebody else's heart and mind. And the great thing is that it doesn't need to be exact to still be beautiful. You don't need to transmit the exact feeling and everything in order for it to be beautiful and wonderful. The other person can feel something and think something completely different than what you as the artist intended or what you felt when you wrote the piece, and it can still be wonderful and impart great wisdom and feeling upon them and have a huge impact on their lives for what it means for them. And that's the wonderful thing about it. It's just a way of communicating that doesn't have to rely on words, at least not by themselves, to carry a message. And the fact that everybody will interpret it differently is wonderful, because it leaves a layer of mystery between one mind and the next, and that makes life what it is: interesting, elegant, and beautiful. I do want to talk about women in love and relationships and things for a second. I believe sex is also sort of a means of communication and connection. Oh, that was the wrong way. That's sort of unobtainable anywhere else. And I think that's what brings about jealousy. Is I think that when you have a connection with one person that you really enjoy, and you want that to be the only person that you connect with on that way, when they connect with somebody else that way, you know, by having sex with them or sharing romantic feelings or whatever it is, when they do that with somebody else, that's sort of where jealousy comes, because you felt that something was shared that was only supposed to be between you two, and you get this crazy idea that maybe what they're sharing with somebody else is the same thing, and it may or may not be, and we make those assumptions and then we get jealous. There's a big difference in my mind between loving somebody and being in love with somebody. I tried to explain this to a very dear, wonderful friend of mine, Jordan Steinbrink, met last girl, a love girl with all of my heart, wonderful friend of mine. I try to explain to her sort of how I view the difference between love and being in love, and I would describe it as, when you love somebody, you want them to be happy and you want the best for them. When you're in love with somebody, you want to be the person that causes that happiness and that sense of wonder in them. You want to be the person, to be, you know, the person that makes that happiness that you want for them real and better than it could be with anybody else. You want to be the one person, the only person that can do that for them at that time, and you want them to feel the same way about you. So that's, to me, that's why there's such a big difference. I was going to try here to explain what I look for in a woman, and that there are some parts of me that are shallow and some parts that maybe aren't. You know, definitely the most important thing to me is if a woman is sweet. I really do like a sweet girl. It's really kind and warm-hearted. That I think a lot of guys don't mind or like going for the bitchier sort of girls, because it is interesting. It adds a layer of drama that you may not realize you want and are looking for, but that I think a lot of us on some conscious level do, and I might even on some level that I don't think that I do. And so the things that I look for in a woman, you know, I like a girl that's really sweet and warm heart. I like a girl that wants an equal kind of relationship. It doesn't have the normal stereotypes of what are the men and women's responsibility. There are some things that are always going to be a little different. We're not going to see eye to eye on everything. But I like a girl that likes things to sort of be equal. And physically, I do seem to like really short, small, dark-haired, pale skin, blue eyes. Mainly recently has become really important to me. I used to be a real big fan of green eyes, and sort of on that one now. But yeah, I really love blue eyes lately. So there's some shallow things I do like them. I make exceptions, but see, the thing is, I make exceptions on the physical stuff with women all the time because it's not that important. It is sort of an ideal. That's sort of a picture I have in my head. But I mean, it doesn't matter if I get along really, really well with a girl and she really makes me feel with her personality really good. That makes the biggest difference. But I have tended to always be able to, and therefore always want what I think are really, really hot, physically women. So maybe that makes me shallow. I've had a lot of different experiences with relationships. The biggest thing I would put, I was going to go into more detail about specific experiences I have, and I don't think I'm going to. Not in this episode. But most of what I've experienced in relationships, I tend to fall in love pretty fast. So I've been in love a lot with more than one woman, and it's real in love, romantic love. It's not just that I thought that I was at the time. I really, really was. I had an overwhelming desire to make these women happy and be the only one that could do that, which is probably unrealistic and very idealistic of me, especially at a young age, especially when I was 16, 17, things like that. Part of it, I don't think anyone's ever been in love with me. I'll just say that right now. It's never really happened. So I don't know what that's like. Well, I mean, it's never happened that a girl's been in love with me and I've been in love with her, back. It's probably been a couple times that women have been in love with me that I didn't feel the same way, and I just didn't know, or things like that, or I just thought it was too weird, or whatever's going on. I've never mutually had the romantic love, and maybe most people my age haven't. I don't know, but I would have liked to have, because I feel like that would feel kind of nice. There's a lot of differences between the way men and women communicate, and it can cause problems and misunderstandings. I've been trying to, as a young man, try to be objective about women and the way they think and the way they feel about me and the way we interact together, and try to take myself out of the situation again. And it's really, really hard, because I am a 23-year-old male. I see women the way they do. I have my set beliefs about what they're thinking, what they want, what I want out of them, and it's hard to change that. It really is. But I try. That's enough about women for now. I also say that I'm an atheist. And I really am. I don't know. If the question is, is there a God? The answer is, I don't know. So it sounds like I'm an agnostic. But no, if you ask the question, do you believe in God? No, I don't. I don't think there's a God. Mainly because I don't think it's necessary, because I believe in all these scientific things, and there's no need for God. That's the biggest thing for me, is that whether there's a God or not, it doesn't affect my choice of decisions. It doesn't affect how the universe unfolds. God has no effect on this universe and me or anybody else whatsoever, even if he does exist. And that's my belief. And I'm a secular humanist. I believe humans, we are the highest sort of power. We are capable of anything and everything negative that could possibly ever happen to us. And I have a huge amount of faith in humanity. You know, I think humans, we're not going to destroy our planet. I think right now maybe we are, but I don't think we're going to destroy our planet. I think we're going to do some wonderful things in the universe, and I think we need to have more faith in ourselves. We're wonderful, beautiful creatures that make mistakes. We evolved into our intelligence, our vast intelligence, so fast that we're still getting used to it and figuring out how to use it for good instead of evil. And we're just learning, you know. We're just learning. That's all. You know, we can cut ourselves a break. We're still learning how to do this. We do need to make the effort to be better every day. But we're learning. It's okay, you know. We're human beings. We make mistakes all the time. It's okay. It doesn't mean we're generally evil or bad. I mean, I think we're generally good. You know, a lot of people know I'm huge into physics, astronomy, quantum mechanics, and cosmology. I love psychology as a science because it's so inexact and each person is different. I love that a lot of studies and things in psychology can demonstrate that. The very difference from human being to human being, and I love that. I love the uniqueness of each human being. I'm also very interested in pharmacology. You know, the interaction between the physical interaction between drugs and the human body, and chemicals and things like that. And so I'm very interested in drugs on an intellectual level, not just on a personal level. Of a lot of people think, oh, you just want to do drugs, Josh. I've been told that a lot, and that's sometimes I do. I'm not gonna lie, but that's not what it's about. It is very interesting to me how some outside things can have an effect psychologically that we don't have 100% control of. You know, that goes into what the mind is, and it's a very complicated thing I'm gonna have to get into. You know, above everything else, I'm an existentialist, and what that means for me is that it's all about responsibility. This goes back to sort of God. There is no God that helps me triumph and do the wonderful things that I do, and there is no Satan that tempts me to do the negative things. I own those decisions. If I do something, you know, I can't be praised or respected or admired for something unless it was my free choice. You know, I did that. I did that wonderful thing, created that art, or did whatever, and it was me that did that. And the same thing, if I do something evil, that was me. I own that. I'm the one to blame, or I'm the one to revere, depending on what it is. No supernatural forces. I am responsible for the things, the choices that I make. And I am the only one that's responsible for the choices I make. There could be influences and other things, but I am ultimately, it's ultimately about me. My story, how that unfolds, is ultimately up to me. And it's the same for all of you. It's the same for every single one of you. You know, and then this comes around sort of to the end of things, which is, you know, I want to talk about cancer a little bit. You know, I have a malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumor. It's the second one I've had. First one was in my ankle, and that's where you'll see my left leg amputated below the knee. And now I have another huge sort of tumor in my back. You can sort of see it sticking out there a little bit. So this is the second time I've had cancer in 2.5 years. Kind of a scary thing if you think about it. Some of this, mainly, I haven't started any radiation, and I'm probably not going to do chemo this time. I have done chemo before, but I'm probably not going to this time. So I haven't started any radiation or surgery yet. So I don't have symptoms from that. But from the cancer itself, the biggest thing is I'm tired a lot. You know, besides the pain, because it's a big tumor and it's pressing on my back and my lungs and things like that. It's definitely got a lot of pressure, and so it hurts a lot. And you know, for that, I'm on pretty strong narcotic painkillers for that. And it's, you know, those are the biggest things. I'm tired and I'm in pain. Overall, I still feel like I'm doing okay, though. Trying to be positive about cancer is, it can be difficult. But as I'm about to explain in a minute, I'm not special. Anybody can do this. with relative ease. You know, I'm not special. You know, I can't think of anything that makes me special. You know, and that's a wonderful thing. You know, I have, you know, I have cancer, but that doesn't mean I can't be happy. And in general, I am happy. I moved to the city that I love, even though it's not reciprocated, it's not returned. I am in love right now, and I am happy. I'm happy. You know, dealing with the idea of dying, because the prognosis is not really good in my situation. You know, as far as I can tell, the vast likelihood is that this is going to kill me. You know, the 95 to 99% chance is that I'm going to die relatively, you know, within a few years soon because of this. And dealing with death at such a young age, and I'm only 23, that's a difficult thing. My dad's mother, my Nana, has talked to me a little bit, and she asked me a question that has stuck with me since the earlier part of this year when I was diagnosed, which was that, well, have you had to think about death before? And I said, well, I thought about it a little bit first time I got cancer, but mainly I was going to lose the bottom part of my leg, and that's what I was focused on, because that was pretty big in itself. And I said, that's mainly what I thought about. You know, death wasn't too much on my mind, but I did think about it. And so she asked me, have you had to deal with it before? Well, what did you think before? And I'm still making a big mental and emotional inventory of death for me. And I don't know exactly what death means for me. I know that I believe there's no heaven and no hell. There's no afterlife. There's no reincarnation. There's no... My consciousness, my me, my personality, the thing that makes me me, my I-ness, when I die is gone. You know, when I die, I'm in the ground, I'm decomposing, and I'm just, you know, my body is no longer alive, and I'm no longer alive. That's it. I'm done. A lot of people think that's a really ugly or depressing way to view things, and I don't. I don't agree at all. I think it's a beautiful thing, because you know what? That means that this life is so much more precious. This is the only shot I've got, and to know that it's going to be over soon, I have to pack in as much as I can. You know, I can't stress this enough. This life is important. It's what matters. You know, and I have to make it count, especially since there's a limited time. So I don't want to take the Christian or other religious views that, you know, I'm having a chance somewhere else, and that when I'm done here, oh, I'm going to go to a better place. No. When I die, I want to be able to, other people to be able to say that I did the things I wanted to do. I said the things I wanted to say. That's the biggest thing, that I say to the world the things I wanted to say. And that's part of the reason that I'm doing this. And that's part of the reason that I'm a musician, because I feel I can communicate better with music. And it's beautiful. You know, what happens after I die can be a very beautiful thing. For me, it can't be anything, because that's the end of the story. That's, you know, boom, that's all she wrote. But it can be beautiful for other people. It doesn't have to be sad and depressing. I understand there's going to be mourning for a while, but, you know, I just hope I did something wonderful with my life, and it will affect somebody. And somebody pretty recently that I really, really love told me that she would never forget me, and that I've had a huge impact on her life, and that maybe what I should be doing is what I'm already doing. And she told me that I'm one of her best friends, one of her favorite people, and that she loves me, and I love her too, and you know who you are. And you know, I hope for other people, but especially for her, I hope, you know, I hope our time together has been worth it for you, because it's been worth it to me. And I love you. I'm going to close this now. I'm going to end it by saying a little bit of what I was saying earlier. I'm not special. I'm not. I'm a normal guy who wants what any guy who grew up as a romantic, musically inclined, scientifically interested guy would want. I want to write and play as much music and rock, especially, that I can handle. I want to fall in love and have someone be in love with me. I want to learn about everything that interests me. I want to have fun and party. And I want to feel good. I want to get high. Not necessarily in the drug sense, but I mean get high and just get elevated in a way. See things in a new way and be happy about it. I want passion and love. I want the volume to go up to 11. And I want my brain to explode. Absolutely explode with beautiful ideas. Whether they're my own or somebody else's. And I want to tell my story. So I'm going to try to do as often as I can, hopefully every day, post something new, usually about one particular of these topics, whether it's women or philosophy or psychology or music, all these other things. There'll be some topics that I come to a lot. And I'm hoping to, every day I can, post something new and start a new discussion and talk about something specific. A few things I'll probably come to a lot are women, love, and relationships. That's a big thing for me. Music will definitely always have a place here on this channel. And people, psychology, sociology, the relationships. And so I'm going to end now by saying, no matter who you are out there, if you're watching this, I love you and I hope you get something out of this. And if you're a couple specific people that know who you are, then know that I really, really love you. And I really, no matter what happens, I want you to be happy, and I don't want you to be sad when I go, because I am probably going to be going pretty soon. This is probably the last, chapter of my life. And I want you to know that that's okay, and I want you to know that I love you. Thanks. See you next episode.